Hi guys, welcome to Creativity Incorporated. My name is Diana and I'm really glad we're here today. I have a interesting craft art that I made, a display that I made. It's a little bit more like a diorama immersive kind of thing, where I incorporate all my Funkos, specifically from the Guillermo Del Toro movies. I mentioned I wanted to do this in my past two videos, and this is me making them. Now I'm gonna kind of like run by some of these. Now that I'm editing, I realize that some of these were not recorded, or yeah, well, the process of it was not recorded as well as others, but nevertheless, I tried my best to record them, and I'm really excited how they came out. This first one that I'm showing you is the Frankenstein one. I just got these Funkos and I'm so excited. Well, it's not these Funkos, it was just, in fact, I got a few of them, and this was one of the ones I just got with my tax money. Anyway, so I made a design of how I was kind of wanting to do it. Um, I used the same box, the cardboard box that my Funko came in to make my Funko display. So that's why you see it, and I was excited to kind of show you that I used the same box. So it's a cardboard box, and I kind of like plastered it with air pip, air drying clay. English is hard, man. So I made like a. I was from the movie. If you've seen the movie, he's in a dungeon, or like he's imprisoned in a dungeon for a while. And to me, that's what I was going to, where I was going to display my Funko, my Frankenstein Funko. And so I used the clay to kind of make a little layer, and then from there sculpt the bricks of it. In this scene, it's kind of like I screenshot like the movie in this, some of these shots, and what it seemed like from that, there should be like a hole towards the wall, and that's where the water went, and that's why you see me doing that little like indentation. And I cut the hole and I went towards the back, and so I used that to kind of like give it more dimension, because it's supposed to have dimension, and it has like running water. But in any case, I used a lot. This is napkin rolls, the tissue inside of them. So I cut them up in little pieces. I wanted something that was kind of already rolled, so it was easier for me to roll more into, like make it tighter, because it's already kind of having that memory shape. So I took advantage of that and just cut in smaller pieces and rolled it up a tiny bit more. It seemed like there was a like arch columns, and the columns had bases, and that's kind of where I was going. I'm not going with perfection, a little, but I'm going for um, reflection. So it looks like the piece, but it looks really close to that piece. So it's not similar and it's not perfect, but it's like an it kind of like mirrors it. I don't know if I'm trying to explain it right, because I'm not going for the same thing. I'm trying to going for similarities. This is a tongue twister, man. uh, but nevertheless, I did think that some of it was pretty close. I tried my best in some of the things, like in the pipings you will see me doing right now. This is me kind of copying where my arches are going to go. So that was my best way of doing things, and then figuring it out as I'm going. I had a sketch, a design kind of idea, but um, every step, like when I'm building something, even at work, like I have an idea, design, a measurements, but I still measure as I go on the pieces that I need to cut. I don't always like just go crazy wild, because you never know material thickness, shrinkage, and all that nonsense. So I always go back and measure things. In this case, I did this. I went back, traced my idea, and then went back and just worked it out. And that's what came out. Okay, so this is the archway that I was tracing and trying to make sure I got the right shape and the right size. So after I re resketched the design, I went ahead and used that to arch the shape that I want the overall to look, so that I'm able to shape it to that rather than what it's giving me at the moment. Because if you notice, the sketch was giving me like a pointy kind of thing, and I don't want that. So I'm using Sculpey. This particular Sculpey is harder than the other ones. So there's Sculpeys that are like different. They're like flexible Sculpeys and stuff. This one's a little harder than the other ones. It's like a model, I think model making Sculpey or something like that. Which sometimes I use it and it becomes really hard, and I really enjoy using it because of that. It helps me with my structures that I make, because this isn't used for dolls, like if you want to make a doll that you can play with, quote unquote, like move. This is that kind of Sculpey, but in my case I use it for structures and it helps me a lot. So this is my little tray that I've been burning everything in. Okay, let me tell you the story. You guys seen me that I've used Sculpey before. I don't burn them as often, but in this like past 2 3 videos I have been burning it, but that's because I used the little, this is me trying to give you an explanation, yada yada blah blah blah. No, I use a different oven. I use one of those little, was it convection ovens, like the tiny ones. And so I'm still trying to do the whatever says 250 at 15 minutes, and this is what's happening. So that's what happened on my first video. I think I made a globe, and that's why I figured that this Sculpey is not good for that. So I put less time and it burnt it less, but still burnt it. Now, in this case, in this scenario, the texture is gonna help me so much. So I'm gonna take the bubbly parts of the Sculpey, like when it bubbles, when it burns. But if you see when it becomes flat, it becomes brick texture like. And so I was like, okay, so maybe like God made me burn this. Well, he didn't make me burn it, but um, it was a happy, very happy accident, and I'm really glad it did. So once I flattened it and I shaped it a little bit, it, man, I loved how they came out. I actually felt like I should go back and burn the other ones that didn't get burnt, and because I really enjoyed the texture that the burnt parts were giving me. Okay, so this is where I jump a little bit more. Um, I used that same air drying clay to make a paste. So to the air drying clay, I put a little bit of water and a little bit of glue, and I mix it until it makes me a paste. And I use that paste to give the pillars texture, and it has like if I see close up of the pictures of the tower, I mean of the screenshots that I took of those little pillars, it has like stuff on it, like like old bricks falling apart or whatever. So I'm kind of doing that. It is kind of a dungeon, but it's a nice clean dungeon, but it has some like oldness to it. So it's like kind of old and falling apart. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But I skipped the part where I glued all my arches, and I kind of did show you in how I put all that texture. This is, you see how the arch, I'm shaping the rest of the box to the arch. And also I use that to also glue all the little pieces of arches and all of that. I love the texture of the burnt stuff. I wish I had more control of it, like when I want it, when I don't want it. But and where I want it on the piece, it would be perfect. But I don't have control of it. But I'm happy in the parts that it did happen. Um, and I just enjoyed it, embraced it, loved it, hugged it, and said it I loved it, welcomed it to the family and all. So this is a big skip. This is me painting it, repainting it. So Yeah, you'll see that right there. You see other parts from other um displays that I'm making. So this is a bunch of displays pieces that I made in one go. This, I undercooked it, I feel a little bit, but nevertheless it was cooked, it was good. Now this is another type of sculpey. You see that it's black. This one is on a tiny bit more flexible if you heat it up. So you kind of got to know your sculpies a little bit. Like, not like, hello, my name is Diana, and like, nice to meet you. But like, work with them, play with them, and like, see what happens to them. Like, for me, I'm learning that burnt sculpey gives you a really cool texture. So, not that I'm going to go around burning sculpey, but like in some certain pieces where I need the whole piece burnt, I know how to do that. It's just like I'm an expert toaster. Get it? Get it? But no, I'm not. Yes, but you know what I mean. So this is the pipes that go around. They're so beautiful. There's actually a little bit more pipes on the movie pictures that I took, but I didn't want to like overload it with pipes. And it's gonna look weird, I felt. So this is my artistic interpretation of what I see, what the basic stuff that you see. So this is what I'm saying. I'm doing the mirror part of it, so it's like it looks like it, but it's not identical, and it's there's a lot of artistic editing to it. So it looks like what it feels that it is, but it's not, but it is, but it's not, kind of thing. So this is me shaping those bubbles and heating them and shaping them and heating them. Took me a long, long, long time. Once glued and shaped to my desired location and shape, I went, there are copper pipes or brass pipes, something like that. And this, now that I'm looking at it, that thing does not look copper or brass. What does it say on there? Some metallic something, but does that look like brass to you? Or copper? No, I don't know. Maybe in real life it looks different, but like when I'm looking at, nah, this close up doesn't look that bad. But in any case, it's rusted like brass. So this is my interpretation of a rusty. I don't know. I don't. Doesn't okay. In life, it looks better. People, don't be mean. Don't bully me right now. That's brass or like patina brass, sort of. And I go back and I kind of basic on it. I could have spent more time on painting these like pipes, but I didn't. In the movie, there's this beautiful scene where he sees a leaf and he puts it like on the, I don't know if it's him or the girl, um that puts it on this like little stream of water that happens to go through the basement or uh is it cellar, basement, under, whatever. So I wanted to make sure I included that on here. So I grabbed a little bit of acrylic epoxy and made my little river. Now, you can't see it from there, so I'm going to put a little bit of green so it gives you that, like it's like sewer water or runoff water. I don't know. The water that goes under old castles and waters and stuff like that. And so I'm putting like, I didn't mix it completely 100, so I left like little wavies of the green so it looks like water movement. I mean, it's so small you can't see none of what I just said, but in my head, like it's a big deal. So after I've painted and blended the acrylic, when you use acrylic on epoxy, acrylic paint on uh, epoxy, just be careful not to put so much because then it doesn't dry correctly. Like here I am telling you I didn't blend it that much, and I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, Diana, I thought we didn't blend it that much, but no way, we blended it so much. Ugh. Anyways, it's like it still has some movement on it, I guess, but I thought I didn't do it as much. Anyways, to make the leaf, I used the leaf. See? See how smart I am? But it doesn't look like nothing at the end. You'll see. You'll be like, all that. And I even went looking for like the right color leaf and yada yada. and all that nonsense. And yeah, it doesn't look like what I think it was. But the thought is there, and if like you're watching my diorama in life and you notice that little leaf, then you know that we know that what it is. You know what I mean? It's like a little nod, like a hidden Mickey kind of thing. Sort of. It's a hidden thing in plain sight. I was trying to shape it, but then I just cut a little piece. And I wanted to float, but I moved it, and of course the thing sinks. So now it looks like it's inside the water. I don't know what I did that, Diana. I should have waited till the thing was a little bit more dry so that it kind of just really floats. But at the same time, it's okay that it went inside because with time and like with the dust and stuff like that, it was gonna look very trash. So I'm glad it went inside the water. Okay, so this jump to my next piece is okay. So the first one I did was the Frankenstein movie. This is my favorite movie, and this is the movie I discovered. This director, which is Guillermo Del Toro, is called Pan's Labyrinth. I freaking love this movie. If you had a personality of mine to like describe a movie in, this is it. It's like beautiful, it's love, it's chaotic, it's elegant, but scary. I don't know. And whimsical is everything I hope in my dreams. So, like I was showing you there, I made it out of another Funko box. This is another box that I had. I think where my Muppets came in. Remember how I did the unboxing of my stuff? Like I don't know. I want to say I've been putting so many videos out that I want to say this was maybe like 3 months ago because I've only done like 3 videos, 4 videos, and I just been so busy at work and I get home drained and I don't have like 9 to 5 hours. So it's like one day you're from 6 in the afternoon to like 3 in the morning, and the other day you're like 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and it's like so chaotic. But as I was saying, I bought a few Funkos, and this is another one of those boxes. And I kind of like that I was using the same boxes because they're using, I mean, it's obviously Funko size, but it's also like they all kind of will look similar in my display that I'm working with. Now I'm using the same technique of not shaping, but sculpting, not sculpting, engraving. Would that be engraving on the piece or embossing? I don't know. On the piece with uh, plastering, um, uh, paper clay, paper, you know, air drying clay, kind of clay onto the piece and then shaping it from there. So in the movie, the fawn, whatever, he lives in an underground, kind of like medievalish looking, fairy tale looking maze. And so you go underground, that's where he lives. And in the underground, or in the ground of that place that he lives, there's also a maze on the floor. And in the center of the maze, there's like a statue or yeah, like a sculpture. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I put the stairs kind of, you won't be able to really see them, but in my head, in my eyes, I wanted them there. And I'm also going to put the sculpture that I already did, which I showed you in that little tray with all my sculpty pieces that I cooked, burnt, cooked, whatever. This is gesso. Um, just a not gesso. Is it gesso? Yeah, just powdered gesso. It's not made gesso, it's just powdered gesso because I want my paint to be chalky and I want it to have volume. So when I want that chalky, volumistic paint texture thing, I use this mixture, which is um oh my gosh, why am I going blank? I'm blank right now. I just said it. Gesso and paint and glue. And I usually mix it on where I'm doing it. Sometimes I use a little one of my little plates. But if it's a big piece like this, I'll just mix it on there just because there's no point in dirtying something else or wasting material on something I'm gonna wash away when I can just spread it where it's made, right? Okay, once painted and textured, I started to attach kind of basic things. So like at the entrance of like the maze, there's this like concrete or like stone archway where it has this like weird looking face, and I love that weird looking face. And so I really wanted to incorporate it on my piece, so I'm gonna incorporate it on the top of my quote unquote arch. Now, after that, took me like a whole day to sculpt that little piece that goes on the tower, or that little thing that I told you goes on the mace circle thing. And I did it knowing that most likely I won't be able to really see it on the once like my two Funkos are in there. But to me, it was really important to have it just because it it's such a not such a big part of the movie, but like it's a to me it's iconic as part of the movie. And as the other ones, you heat it up to shape it. So I shaped it to the kind of stone that this sits on. So it's like big boulder, I'm gonna say rock, and then this is kind of like sculpted onto the rock. So what I did is I stood did it separately, and I did that rock out of I think it's aluminum inside, and then on the outside I just put a lot of air drying clay and made it look like a boulder, and then glued my what's it called, my piece onto it, rather than trying to sculpt it out of air drying clay. I would have had such a hard time doing it because air drying clay dries so quick that putting all that detail would have been kind of difficult for me. Then to finish marrying both pieces together, I added some of that paste that I made with gesso, paint, and glue, and kind of like dabbed it onto the boulder, quote unquote, and the sculpture itself, or the little relief that I made, so that it looks like they're one cohesive piece rather than two different pieces. So I just kind of like blended the lines so there's no clean lines in between both things. And that helped marry both of the pieces and sell it as one stone thing so that nobody in this world can see it once I put it on the thing. It's sad. It's cute, but it's just for me, right? Why not? Okay, so here you'll see more what I was talking about. I realized I painted the back of it without having to paint the back of it, but it I guess it solidifies the little piece more when you do that kind of stuff, especially if I'm using glue and gesso to it. So uh, I don't know, not that I need it to last forever, but it's a cute little something for me. Now, look at me, how I made my whole freaking circles, made everything, and then I glued it on the side of the circle. I didn't glue it. You will never see it in life, in person, right? Unless you know me personally. But if you see it, pay close attention, like stop and zoom in right now. It's not in the circle, in the center, anyways. This is another part of the movie where a little girl gets chased by a monster, and there's like three doors. Those are the three doors. You really can't see them there. And on this side, on one of the pillars of that box, or one of the sides, right there, you see the dagger. It also plays a part of the movie. And then on the other side, you see a key. So those just kind of little details that I put on the top part, because not only do I have Funkos of Guillermo del Toro for this movie, I have this movie signed by him directly. So I use this other box that, by miracle of God, fits exactly in there, and it's a like a perfume box that my daughter didn't need, so I just painted it inside, and on the outside I wrapped it with those like laminate pieces of wood that you saw earlier when I was ranting. But in any case, extremely jump. We're gonna jump to another one. This is the one that should have been at the beginning of this video, but I chose to show it at this moment. I guess because I'm doing it as I filmed it. No, because I think I started with this. No, not true. This is in order of how I made them. So I guess we're going to respect that. But this is a library. So if you look up Guillermo del Toro's house, is called, oh my gosh, I know the name of this house, but his house. And so he lives in LA. He has this beautiful mansion or house that he has a lot of collections. He's like me. We're big collectors of collections, but he has a lot of movie memorabilia, and he also has his own movie memorabilia. And he has a large collection of books and a library. So I made books out of foam. I made a library. And then also I found this thing in the trash that had little niblets of, or little straps of, what is it, leather. So I use that to cover my foam books. See how they're like made out of foam, and like some of them are like one piece thin, two-piece thin, and they're different colors of that same material that I found on that frame in the trash. And it was so awesome that I was able to make all the books out of leather, all my miniature books. I mean, I have a lot of scrap leather that I could have done this with anyway, but this leather was like the thin kind, the shapeable kind. So it just like it lands on my feet so well. It happens to me all the time. Doesn't it, like a movie on the videos? Don't I say, oh, this happened to happen, that I got it or whatever? It happens to me all the time. But you see here, on the tops and the bottoms and all around of the foam, I painted it white so it looks like a book. Not perfect because you won't be able to really see it, but just so you and I know that it looks like a book better. So I made it, but then the bottom looked a little empty, so I added that. I added a Frankenstein. And in his house, when you enter his house, you see there's a balcony with a big head of Frankenstein. That's kind of an ode to that. And this is me. I printed in photo paper a picture of the cover of one of his books that I really want, but it's like $60. So I'm gonna keep on wanting it for a long time. But I put it right there. Like you won't be able to see it because he goes in the front of it, but it's there and I know it. So, anyways, I needed a can. I found this size of can that I needed. I didn't throw away, so I used it to make the Shape of Water guy. Um, Amphibian. He's amphibian. I think that's what his name is. But I asked my son to help me cut it because it was thicker, and I don't know. I couldn't do it, so he had his own scissors that he did it with. And I made a dome out of paper for it. I used something that I had already, and I kind of used that to make the shape for the dome because he lives in like a containment unit at the FBI labs or whatever. So that's what he's gonna live with. He's gonna live at in my Funko display. He's gonna live in the containment unit. It's sad that I'm saying it, huh? But yeah, he's gonna live in the containment unit. So this is the bottom part that I'm making. I made out of foam, and then I glued it onto the can. I was gonna say jar, but it's a can because I wanted those ripples. You see those ripples? That's why I wanted a can for it. But don't worry, I used the peaches. I made a jello for the kids and I put the peaches in there. Came out good. The kids loved it. In any case, I got the ripples, I got the can, I got the containment unit. This is the one thing I didn't film nothing of, my Pinocchio. And I regret it so much because that's all I got. That's all I got of the process. Anyways, I'm really sorry because that's the one that I put a lot of detail into, and I wish I would have filmed more of. I thought I did. For some reason, I keep looking, going back on my phone because that's how I record, and I keep on looking for more, but I couldn't find any. So this is what I get. Anyways, for this next project is trash for sure. Everything is trash. Even the Pinocchio one is the other half of that perfume bottle box that I showed you earlier. Pinocchio box is the other half of it, of that perfume bottle. So I grabbed a lot of pieces of that um, box, cardboard, carton, egg carton box to make a little display because this is for Troll Hunters. Guillermo Del Toro directed. It's a cartoon that I believe is on. Was it on Netflix? I believe so. So this beautiful cartoon, but it's like about trolls that are hunted or hunt something. I don't remember. It was a long time ago when I saw it. I did see some of it, not all of it, but nevertheless, it had to be here. So I did that. And I'm going to seal everything with one of my favorite movies, which is Hellboy. I made like a little two-part display as well, like a top and a bottom, because I have two characters that don't belong in the same place but are from the same movie, which is the Hellboy himself and the amphibian from the Hellboy movie, not the amphibian from The Shape of Water. Different amphibians, they look the same, but they're not. They're like fish men looking people. Um, anyway, so Hellboy's gonna sit in a cemetery because that's where his father found him, in a cemetery, and that's where I want him to live in my display area. So I'm going to make headstones out of foam, and the bottom or the base of it is going to be cardboard, or it's not cardboard, it's egg carton. Why is it so hard for me to say it? But anyways, I grabbed a bunch of little pieces and I use them for structure for my tombstones, and for to also give the floor volume, and yeah, to make it look like it's an abandoned Russian cemetery. I'm looking at the video and I'm like thinking, how did that come up? But yeah, it does end up looking nice, I guess. Like, it looks good at the end, trust me. So here I am just gluing randomly. I go up and down on them and it works out great, trust me. Okay, so this is the back of the cemetery. It has like a window kind of thing. I don't know, I just saw different parts of different aspects of or pictures of the scene, and that's what I did. Now I have zero video of those tentacles that I made, but the other ape sapien wrestles this like monster in like a pond of, or like a volume of water, and so I made that, and to attach all three pieces together to display the top of the Hellboy cemetery and the bottom of the Kragan, I used a screw and it worked out great. Now let's put it together. I have this background which is greenish. I put my first one, which is Guillermo Toro. The Funko wasn't there yet, but I hung this poster from the master class that I attended. He taught a class in LA, and I went to it, and you were given that poster of the amphibian man from The Shape of Water. That's his anatomy, and it came with in a tube where it says like top secret and a letter from the quote unquote FBI or whatever. And so that was like the centerpiece of it all. It's not paper, it's kind of like canvasy, which I loved. Now that's my Hellboy cemetery. That's like literally, this is in the way, kind of where I hung it and how I hung it. Now I have the Hellboy one. They're. I know I'm ruining my Funkos, but they are being glued. So like I put it there and it was moving, but it actually had glue on it. All of my pieces had that silicone glue, which is kind of like from the heat gun looking one. So I can take it off if I someday want to take it off, but I don't think I want to take it off anyway. If anything, I want to frame it in glass so that all these pieces can be together. And I want to be able to add to it. So I want to add a tooth fairy from the movie Hellboy 2. And I want to make a book. So probably for my next video, you will see me make a book that I'm dying, eager, itching to get out of me. That is Guillermo del Toro, and that's where I'm gonna put all the Guillermo del Toro stuff that I have, like pictures or whatever. I'm gonna put it in that book, and I have the perfect spot for it there. So the Frankenstein display is just sitting on top of all the Pawn's Labyrinth display. This is me hanging the Pinocchio one. That one already has the characters glued on there too, I think. They're gluing, they could be gluing, I don't know. This is me doing that. I did this like a month ago and I'm barely having the opportunity to what's it called? Um edit it and put it together. I have been working on it little by little, as you can imagine. This is a Troll Hunter one. I ended up like painting it like maybe 5 times, but this is kind of how I liked it at the end of it because I like the character to kind of stand out more. So I forgot this guy's name, but he has a cool name. So I have a journal with Guillermo Del Toro's signature, which I put also right next to the movie that he signed for me. Yeah, because I've been to two of his like talks or classes. One of them is actually a class. The other one was like a I don't know, panel where you ask him questions or whatever. So I had the opportunity to meet him twice, and so those were the signatures from that. Now this is me playing with this thing. I eventually glue these two together, so don't worry about it. So this is the end. This is where you see the balcony. He also has a chimney where he has these Edgar Allan Poe and I forgot this other guy's name next to them. So I put that there. Nobody's gonna see it, like I said. That little niche looking thing with his library at his house, the letter, the anatomy of Homo Pisces. Oh, Pisces, right? I don't know. You don't really see Abe in his little glass container from this shot because I suck at recording this, which I should have done better because I am so stinking proud of them. Um, I love how they came out. I love that Pinocchio. I made little pieces of wood carvings. I made little seat clamps, everything. Made little pieces of wood everywhere. I put so much detail into every little display that you see there. I made so much effort into kind of like standing out what each character does and the emphasis of it in each film. I really loved how all of these pieces came together. I can't wait till like I frame it. I have no idea how I'm gonna frame it. When it comes, and I'm gonna be so excited to get it framed one day, maybe in a glass dome or some sort. I'm really excited. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me in this crazy adventure. Till next time, guys, stay safe, stay crafty, go wild. Love you guys. Till next time, stay safe.